the second, but that was really for February because we were going.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What's up, everybody? Shane and Jocelyn here. Happy to be with you on this Saturday morning for our March 16th member call. Great day today in Kentucky. Beautiful sun shining. We've had about 16 straight months of rain, but we finally sent out the bird and it brought back some trees. So the flood is over, and we're trying to thaw out from the winter. Hopefully the weather will stay warm like this. We're really pumped up today because it is time to start the NCAA tournament this week. Selection Sunday is tomorrow. Kentucky got a good win last night, and we have got an awesome game to watch against our arch nemesis, Tennessee, today at 3:30. So
I'm ready to go. I got my UK, I don't know what you call this thing. Yes. So, yeah, we are excited about that. We love this time of year. We watch as many games as possible. We are the nerds who turn on like multiple TVs and computer monitors and things like that when it is tournament time because we just love that time of year.
So our productivity over the next couple weeks is going to be absolutely zero. But we will be here for member calls just like this one. So first of all, let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I am looking on my monitor feed and I can see and hear myself. So once we get 2 or 3 people to tell us that they can hear us, we will know we're good to go. And, of course, make sure Jocelyn is as loud as my microphone, too. Give us a good sound check and a good audio check. Also, remember, there is an audio delay. So what you're seeing on the screen is a few seconds behind what you're reading in the chat. So we need your questions now. You do not have to wait for us to ask you questions. For those of you who are new to the Flip Your Life community member calls, go ahead and enter your question now, whatever you want to ask about online business. If you have a follow-up question to anything that we're answering online, go ahead and put that in there. We're going to start answering those as separate questions. So when you frame your follow-up questions, please make it into a full question about your business, because we're going to answer those separately. We're not going to stop and kind of interrupt the flow of the answer to the questions for everybody else anymore. Looks like Chris says they can hear us great. Jennifer says loud and clear, so we're good to go. We were going to change up things a little bit this week. We're going to start off. I'm going to start talking about mistakes. I was meeting with a buddy of mine last night that I hadn't talked to him forever. We talked for 2 or 3 hours about business, and he said something to me during the call that really kind of made me kind of like shake my head. Like, no, you got this. You got this all wrong. He was like, man, you and Jocelyn, man, I'm watching you guys, and it's like y'all never mess up. Y'all always do everything right. And I just laughed because Jocelyn and I probably make some kind of mistake in our business every single day that it's not like derailing, destruction, like bringing down the entire building mistake. It's not pulling the last piece out in Jenga, but we mess up every single day. I actually sent out an email this morning, the Flip Your Life newsletter. Some of you might have saw this in your inbox this morning. And of course, just like all of our emails, we use a template so we don't have to spend so much time writing and creating and formatting. We just use a template every week, every Saturday for the newsletter to tell everybody what's going on in the Flip Lifestyle universe. And I always change the date, and then I change what's going on in the different segments. So I always send out a message about our podcast, a message about our member calls, a message about this. Well, I was pouring coffee right before we got onto the member call today, and Jocelyn looks over and goes, you sent out a newsletter this morning, and it said November 1st, 2018, right?
And I may or may not get a lot of satisfaction from saying these types of things. I don't know. I mean,
Jocelyn loves finding my mistakes, especially spelling mistakes, because Jocelyn can you can take a book and you can flip through it like this. And if there's a misspelling on page 4, she's going to see it as you're flipping through and say, stop. You said your instead of you are your. So, but she said that, and but like we made a little, and she was like, are you going to change it? Was it in a campaign? And I was like, nah. 80% of people won't even notice it's the wrong date, and the ones that
who else noticed? And the ones you can tell me it's okay.
Did you notice? Most people won't notice, and even if they do, it's not a big deal, y'all. Just send out an email. I'm going to send another one tomorrow, and 3 days from now, everybody will forget it. So just remember that we all make mistakes every day. You make mistakes, I make mistakes, Jocelyn makes mistakes, our kids make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, and that is part of this journey, and they never go away. Fears never go away. Mistakes never go away. They just become under our control. Okay. So I'm going to start opening our member calls with my biggest screw up from the last week so that you guys know we do make lots of mistakes. I don't want to present the sugar coated lifestyle. We want to present the no sugar lifestyle here on the show.
All right. So one thing, if you're just now logging in the community, there is a little box at the bottom right corner. It looks like a square and it has like an arrow that goes up and to the right. That will allow you to pop the chat box out into a separate window. So if you want to watch the video and participate in the chat, you can put them side by side if you want to do it that way. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that.
All right. Looks like we got a bunch of people logged in, got our sound checks out of the way. Everyone's putting in questions. Love it. Seeing a lot of great questions this morning. Cannot wait to answer as many of them as possible. We may have some slight interruptions. It's Saturday, so our kids are here. They're in there right now playing Xbox and hanging out with each other. We've also got 2 plumbers under the house as we speak because our hot water tank pretty much died and we have not had hot water. Jocelyn,
in days.
We don't have, yeah, but we've got another house where our office is and we go over there and take a shower. But Jocelyn filled up all 3 of our bathtubs this morning, so we'd have water to flush toilets and clean stuff and whatever this morning we needed. So, but yeah, there's a lot going on at the house. So if we get some interruptions, we'll get right back on track. All right, so let's jump in and let's see what our first question is for today's member call.
All right. This question is from Paul. Paul says, I'm wondering if you are familiar with this membership model. It is a website and charges a one-time non-recurring fee of $47 for members. According to what I read in a book, this person has something like 1 million members, but I'm not sure if they're all paid members because there's a free sign up on her site. It does boggle the mind. Have you heard about this? And what are your thoughts about this version of the membership business model?
Okay, so anything okay, so we know a lot of people that do things differently. Number one, I would say that it is deceiving to call yourself a membership if you're not charging a recurring payment, because that's not a membership. You're paying for lifetime access to courses or something, but like that's not a membership. A membership means to us, you're getting paid every month. You have predictable, stable revenue. We believe so heavily into the membership model that it's so good for families because you know if you've got 100 members that you're going to get most of them back next month, and you can predict your income, and you're going to be able to pay your mortgage. You're going to be able to make that car payment. You're going to be able to save for vacations. You're going to be able to pay for your kids' activities. And it's just safer, right, to have a good, true membership recurring every month. When you see it needs to be called a free membership if that's what it is. A lot of people do call their email list a membership now. We know many people who say, join our membership for free, but that's basically just an opt-in in disguise, okay? They are going to market and sell things within that quote-unquote membership. Now, you can have a free membership, where you do give access to content or you do give access to things. One of the most famous examples of this is Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is a really big podcast, really big website. They have a free membership where you get access to the forums, but then they also have a pro membership to get access to all their tools and their pro forum where all the realtors are hanging out and all these things, okay? So I would say that that's not necessarily a membership. She may have a million emails, but there's no way to actually verify that. And I'm sure there are people with a million emails, but I'll tell you this. I got quoted last week email lists to rent. We're going to try to do advertising in other people's email lists. That's a new strategy that we've developed this year for our brand. And I had some of the biggest websites on the planet quoted to me. And not one of them, only one of them, there was one that had 1.2 million emails. So I would be skeptical to hear that anyone had a million emails, first of all. And I would be even more skeptical that they had every one of those people pay them $47. So what's probably happening there is that's an email list. They're calling it a membership, and then they're upselling. It sounds like a course with lifetime access. Okay, now I don't know for sure what that is, but based on, we've seen thousands of businesses, and I've never seen anything like that kind of number. So
a lot of people do this in a lot of different ways. So one membership that I was a part of not long ago, it's somebody who's kind of a big name in the online space. I had joined the membership years ago. I canceled the membership. And what's funny is I got this series of emails basically saying, hey, join back or we're going to kick you out of the Facebook group. And to this day, I quit probably over a year ago. to this day, I'm still a member of the Facebook group. So a lot of people do this as window dressing, like, oh, well, look how many paying members I have. Well, you don't know how many of those members are actually paying. So, when I first joined this person's group and I got added into their Facebook group, I was like, wow, this is a huge membership. They're making tons of money, which he probably is making a lot of money. But, things aren't always as they seem. So, she may have a lot of members. She may not have a lot of members. I don't know. So as that, you ask what we thought about that model. So, I mean, different people do things different ways. Is there anything wrong with it? No.
I actually like we've thought about like for example, like when you get on our email list, we actually give away like 3 good courses, like really good courses. That could be considered like, hey, we're going to put this, we could even put those in the membership community and people could get a free username and password, but they couldn't go into anything but those 3 courses. Technically, they would be in our community.
And we could consider them members.
But we don't do that because, we just feel like it's just really in that gray area of what you're saying to people. So there is nothing wrong with having a free tier of your membership and then upselling a higher tier of membership that's paid or even more premium, right? But just it's how people present it that really matters. And like usually, if your BS meter starts leaning one way or the other and someone's like, yeah, 1 million members. I mean, come on, they probably don't have 1 million paying members. And I would be loath to even call it a membership if it's not something per month. Does that make sense? So, be careful who you follow and really look at them hard and study them hard and, go back and do research on them before you ever want to model what someone else is doing. A great thing to do when you run across something like this is like Jocelyn did, pay for it, buy it, go watch The Magician's Hands, see what it looks like inside, see what happens when you cancel, see if what they say is what they actually do, because that's the only way to judge someone's character and to see if their business model is actually like for real. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with a free tier membership that sells them into a higher tier of access. I've got 2 or 3 friends that do that and they're extremely successful with it. So, it's a good model too.
All right, let's move on to Brad. Brad says, I'm trying to automate as much of my business as possible so I can focus on growing rather than the day-to-day monotonous maintenance tasks. One area I want to streamline is purchase orders for schools. Can you provide more specific information about how you would streamline this process? Currently, I use contact forms plugin, and then I manually type in the customer's information into the quotes and invoice. Okay.
Yeah, this is Jocelyn's world. I have no idea how to do purchase orders.
Okay, so basically what Brad is asking is, do you have a way of cutting down the number of manual steps to creating and sending out invoices? Yes.
And,
okay.
And a purchase order is when a business or a government entity buys something for its employees. They have to issue a purchase order number. They submit that, and then you get a check from the business or the government. So it's not like online buying, because a lot of businesses and government entities cannot use credit cards based on their rules. So that's what we're talking about here, is how do you basically accept a purchase order payment in a business to business or a government to business environment.
So a purchase order essentially is a promise to pay. So they are going to give you a piece of paper that says, we promise to pay you once you deliver this product or service. I used it a lot on my Librarian website for years, and I started out doing the same thing that you were doing, Brad. I got the information in a contact form. I would manually enter it into an invoicing system, and then I would send out the invoice to the person. It was a very manual procedure. Well, I started looking into some different types of solutions, and the best one that I have come up with is I would use a plugin called Gravity Forms. It is a paid plugin. It is not super expensive. I don't remember offhand exactly how much it is.
I just bought it for another site. I think it was like,
I mean, it was like $100
yeah,
or
it was
something.
like 97 or something like that. And it's good forever.
So I use Gravity Forms, and Gravity Forms integrates with a lot of different systems. One of the things that Gravity Forms integrates with is FreshBooks. And FreshBooks is what I used for my invoicing system for years on Elementary Librarian. And the good thing about FreshBooks is that it will populate the invoice or the estimate for you. So you don't actually have to enter any information. Whenever you enter manual information, it gives a possibility for a lot of human error. We can have typos, it can go to the wrong address, it can be sent to the wrong email. And that can happen when people type in their own information too, but probably it's a little bit less than when we look at someone's information and then try to replicate that information on another document or another system. So that is the way that I dealt with it. It is a pretty flawless system. It would even email the invoices to the person. It was pretty hands off for the most part. The only time that I really had to get involved is if the person didn't pay after 90 days. Like it would still send them reminders to pay if we didn't go in and mark it as paid within so many days. So, at that point we would have to go in and like manually contact them, but that didn't happen super often. Like it was a pretty seamless system for the most part. So I would look into that. Gravity Forms and FreshBooks. I've not used it in a while because, we sold the site almost 2 years ago, but that is what I always use. And for people who are interested in purchase orders or like how to accept purchase orders, there is a training inside the community. I'll run down the link to that and see if I can find it. But I talk about what purchase orders are and how to accept them in your business. And if you're someone who could sell to businesses or, schools or anything that is purchase order heavy, it can really, really be a good thing for your business.
Yeah, it can be super lucrative to go business to business because businesses have budgets and they got to spend them or they lose them. So those departments are always looking for something to buy and sell, or pay for. And I miss purchase orders because those were fun. Like you would get checks and you would actually get to go to the bank and deposit the check. And it was exciting and fun and good times.
It's a little bit of manual work. Like you do have to go pick up the physical check because most people pay with a physical check still. You have to go to the bank and deposit it. You have to go into your invoicing system and mark it as paid because they paid with a check. So there's no way to automate that. But it's worth it. Like if you can get some systems down and get it going, like it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to leave a little bit of manual stuff, guys, in your business, because especially the fun stuff, like it's manual work to cash a check, but you're cashing checks. So don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, I do kind of get depressed now because we go to the post office and there's no checks in the post office box.
I'm like, come on. I miss those paper checks. We all need paper checks.
Okay. We're moving on to Janet. Janet says, what are the advantages of having multiple tiers to your membership? Right now I have one monthly rate and one annual rate. I was thinking about adding one additional monthly tier with some training videos. Is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. You need multiple options for people because everybody that is going to interact with your brand is at a different place. They're at a different place financially. They're at a different place mentally, prepared to take action on whatever you're helping them with and teaching. And and also it's just good. People like options. Now, too many options overwhelm people. Like that, there's proof. They've done studies on this where if you give people too many options, they'll have information overload and they'll choose nothing, right? But we like to have multiple options to help people financially, to help people where they are, and just because it helps you not say no. If you only have one option, their answer is yes or no. If you had a second option, now it's yes, maybe yes or no. You had a third option, you got four choices. You're diluting, watering down no's every time.
But you don't want too many options.
No, I think 3 is perfect. Sometimes 5 works depending on I think higher ticket stuff you can offer like 5 tiers, and lower ticket maybe under $300. 3 tiers seems to work the best. And also too, it helps you complete your mission, right? Like your mission in your business is to help as many people learn the thing you're teaching and take the actions that you're holding people accountable for as possible, right? But not everyone can pay that one tier. So maybe you offer a lower tier with a little bit less access to you, a little bit less access to maybe some of the content to kind of help people funnel into where they need to be at right now in their business or in their life. Okay. And then maybe there's people who are ready to go to the next level and they need that access to you, but you have to protect access to you because you're only awake 16 hours a day, right? So you might have a little higher tier access that lets people kind of talk to you or email you or do things like that. So it lets you serve more people. If you have one price and one tier, you only get to serve that segment of your audience. If you open up a couple tiers lower and higher, you're going to bring in more people. So you're going to have a bigger group of people that you can sell to. And you're going to get people more help, because people who would say, man, I wish I could do that, but I can't at that price. If there was something lower, they would be able to get into it. If there was something higher, some people are like, man, I really wish I could go to the next level. If we'll offer it to them so that they can pay for it. Okay. And on the page, psychologically, it just helps to have price anchors where it's like, you know, I'm the person who will pay $25 a month. There's a $25 a month. There's a $50 a month. There's a $200 a month. Well, I'm going to grab the 25. But then there's another person who will pay the $200 a month. If you don't offer it, they can't buy it, so you don't get it. So like offering multiple tiers is a great strategy for any kind of pricing thing. It's the same reason when you go into the soup aisle at the grocery store, you got the Campbell's soup can with the chicken noodle soup. And what's it? What's I don't even know what chicken noodle soup costs right now.
I don't know, like $1 or something.
$1.50. It's $1.50 for the chicken noodle for the Campbell's soup, and then the off brand, the Walmart brand or the Great Value brand or whatever it is 85 cents. That soup, one might taste a little different than the other, but it's chicken noodle soup. But there's different price points because different people shop at different things. You do this. If you go look for a t-shirt, you might like two t-shirts and one's $10 and one's $20. And some people will pick the 10 and some people will pick the 20, right? So you're just giving everybody the opportunity to buy what they want where they're at. And if you don't offer it, they can't buy it. So your sales go down. Almost everybody we've ever coached up to add an extra tier, even if it's just 2 tiers, usually their sales go up pretty quickly because more people on your list get what they want. So,
but with that being said, like if you are sitting here, maybe you're starting a membership or you're thinking about starting a membership and it sounds like way overwhelming to have multiple tiers, don't worry about it right now. Like, don't let that stand in your way of getting started. Just
you got to offer 1 tier before you can offer 2.
Exactly.
Right?
But if you're already offering one, you want to see if something else will help, then by all means, yes, I think that it is a good idea. All right. So we actually have a lot of success stories coming in, which I love. If you have a success story, go ahead and put that in. I'm going to read a couple here. The first one is Jennifer. Jennifer says, I've been doing YouTube live videos embedded onto my website the last several weeks with a strong call to action at the bottom. When I was in my CRM, which is the customer relationship management software, I noticed that I had 3 people in my nurture sequence. All right. Awesome. Good job. And also Treasure says, I had 2 new busy parents join my community. One is a physician, the other is a principal. 2 new members are awesome, but who they are lets me know that my credibility is high.
Love it. Those are some great success stories. We will try to squeeze in those success stories in between each question. So go ahead and keep those success stories going. Tell us one thing that you did last week that was successful. It doesn't matter how small. Maybe you sent 2 emails. Or maybe you made $2,000 in sales.
Maybe you decided on an idea.
Yeah, whatever it is, inspire other members in the community. When we see other people take action, it makes us take action. And that's why we're all in this together. That's why we are the Flip Your Life community, so that we can get here and inspire each other every couple weeks and keep the momentum going.
All right, we are moving on. I want to take just a second to tell you guys about our live event that is coming up in September, and it's just like 6 months, almost 6 months to the day from now, which is really exciting. It is September 19th through 21st, and we would love to see you there. It is in Lexington, Kentucky. That is our home state. We are super excited to come to our home state. We love the state of Kentucky. Lexington is a really awesome place, and we just want you guys to come and experience it. We went just yesterday or a couple days ago, and we talked to some people in the Lexington Visitor Center. They gave us all kinds of brochures with things to do, like things that we didn't even know about that you can do in the city of Lexington and even beyond. Like, the state of Kentucky is just a really fun place to be, and we would love to see you there. Shane has put a link to the live event tickets. It's fliplifestyle.com/live. We want to see you there. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Live events have been amazing for us through the years, and we just want you to have that same experience, really get to know people in person, and just have that personal connection to people in this community.
If you came last year, go ahead and post it in the chat. I see some people here that came last year. And if you've already got your ticket to 2019 and you're here today, let us know in the chat so they can give you a virtual high five and we can talk to you a little bit. The live event is going to be rock solid. It's going to be all brand new content. And on April 1st, I think it's actually April 1st. Is that Monday? Monday, April 1st.
I don't know.
April 1st. This is no fooling. Not an April Fool's Day joke. Actually,
it is Monday, April 1st.
Monday,
yes.
April 1st. I am going to be starting weekly trainings only for live event attendees live. We're going to be going. I am personally going to walk all of the attendees through the Flip Your Life Blueprint, not just go into the courses and this, that, and the other. We're going to be coming up live every week. We're going to go in. I'm going to tell people exactly what to do next. Or I'm going to walk through the Flip Your Life Blueprint live. We have never done this before. I have no idea how this is going to go or what I've gotten myself into, but we are going to go through each section over about an 8-week period. I'm going to walk people through the Flip Your Life Blueprint. So it'll be a great fundamental review for people who are really killing it in their business, but for everybody else who's trying to start, everybody else who's trying to grow. Like if you are going to Flip Your Life Live, I'm going to be there with you. We're going to get on a Zoom call. It's not just a Facebook Live. Everybody's going to be on the call. I'll click around, ask some questions about their next steps. And I'm going to start at the beginning, walk through to the end and get everybody up to speed. Because one of our philosophies, our live event that's different from every other live event in the world that we know of online business is we prepare our people for the event. We take more action before the event than any other events attendees take.
And most people probably take during or after.
Exactly. So we're going to get after it. We're going to go through the Flip Your Life Blueprint. For those of you who are a little bit more advanced in your business, I am going to have an advanced session as well. So the first 30-minute session on April 1st is going to be for beginners, starters, and growers. That's people who are getting started, building, maybe people less than 100 members, stuff like that. We're going to be going through the Flip Your Life Blueprint together, and I'm going to be doing an advanced session. We're going to do a business audit and make sure all of your, just legal, financial, human resource stuff, all of the insurance and stuff is all in place, so that you know how to pay your taxes, save money on your taxes, make sure you've got all the important documents in place that you need to really grow up and become a real business. Okay. And don't forget too, we will be having our live icebreaker sessions. One of our goals is to try to talk to everybody that comes to the event, even though there's going to be 150, 200 people there. So we have these 3 or 4 icebreaker sessions where we actually get on a Zoom call, we click around, we ask people random questions, they get to talk to us, we get to introduce people to each other. So when you walk in the door at Flip Your Life Live, you'll know people, you'll have friends to sit with. You won't have to worry about coming to the event alone and, being nervous. And, it's like the 5th grade dance where everybody's standing on the wall for the first day because nobody knows each other. Our event feels like a family reunion. People coming in, hugging, smiling, having a great time from the minute they put their foot inside the hotel. So if you are here today and you want to experience this times 100, we have 8 live Q&As at Flip Your Life Live. And Jocelyn and I have decided we're going to bring our chairs this year, and we're going to put them on stage so that we can sit in our chairs because our backs hurt last year from standing for 10 hours a day. So
we want to see you there, though. We want to meet you in person. If we have met you before, we want to see you again. Like, we're just really, really excited about this. It's not a huge moneymaker for us. I've said this on the podcast, but it is worth it for us to be able to bring our community together to help you guys grow. We've seen so many amazing things come out at the live event from last year.
Like above and beyond our wildest dreams, what happened last year at the event. Janet says, went last year and going again this year. Teresa says, I was there last year and have my tickets this year too. Brad's screaming, see y'all live at Flip Your Life Live. And it's going to be an amazing event. We've got payment plans. You don't have to pay for the whole ticket up front. We know last year we had payment plans, but I think we turned them off a little too early. So we left the payment plans open. We tried to spread them out farther. We actually started selling tickets about a month early this year too, to give people, more time to actually pay the ticket. But the problem is, as we get closer to the event, those monthly prices have to go up because there's less months to actually buy the ticket for the event. So it divides, the ticket price by less. So if you want to get a payment plan, go check it out right now. Underneath the ticket options, there's 3 links for payment plans. Okay. So the buttons are the, the actual price of the ticket. It will save you a little money to go ahead and pay for the ticket in full. But below it, we do have payment plans available right now. So you can spread that out. It doesn't have to put too much pressure on you. We want you to be at this event. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. That's within driving distance to like the entire East Coast and the Midwest. So you don't even have to buy a plane ticket. You can just get there. There's 3 great airports around the event. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really fun.
Don't miss it.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a webinar about the live event pretty soon too. If you want even
Ask me anything type things. Be on the lookout for that. We will be doing that soon.
Try and do that this month if we can.
Okay, let's go really quick to a success story. All right, so our next success story is from Chris. He said, I just put the final touches on our new membership tier. We are launching next month. Oh, yeah, Chris. Great work.
All right, let's go to our next question.
All right, next is from Jennifer. Jennifer said, I have a question about paying for traffic. If I have a blog post that is doing well, that I share it on Facebook. If I boost it, the social media post to get the blog post. Okay, if I boost the social media post to get the blog post in front of more people, the goal is to have a strong call to action at the bottom of it to get more people to sign up for my newsletter or my membership. Or course, really, at this point, because there isn't much of a reason to pay people to go to your website only.
Exactly. Yeah, what you just said is an exact sales funnel. Pay for traffic, the page they land on, deliver some content. The content naturally leads to a next step. Next step is usually opt into your list. It could be sell something. It just depends on what the content is on the page. This is actually the strategy that we're falling into for a number of reasons. One, Facebook, ever since the election back in 2016, they have changed their rules dramatically. Their terms and conditions have become a lot harder for certain advertising and certain copy in their ads to get approved. So what we have been having success with lately is just using social media marketing to drive traffic to our website, to free content, like literally our podcast. The last couple boosted posts or ads I've ran on Facebook have just been to our followers and their friends, or to a specific podcast, fan audience. Maybe we upload our email list, something that's our traffic basically. And we're just trying to stay top of mind, keep people aware. Anyone who knows about us, we want them to remember us every single week. And we say, hey, we got a new podcast. Hey, don't forget, we've got this thing going on. Hey, there's a webinar this week, whatever. And we just send them to traffic, to blog posts, to podcast pages, to whatever. And then we remarket to those people, or we, remarket on our email list. So that's great traditional marketing as well. Like, think about movies you've seen where they have the Pepsi can, or the famous story is, when E.T., the extraterrestrial, came out, like M&M's wouldn't product place their stuff in the movie, so Reese's Pieces got to put their thing in, and what was his name, Elliot fed ET all the Reese's Pieces. So that's product placement. It's top of mind. You see Elliot and ET eat the Reese's Pieces, so when you go to the concession stand, you buy Reese's Pieces instead of M&M's, right? Like, they're not really advertising, it's just top of mind, keeping things in front of them. So that's a great way to do all of your content. Like, content is irrelevant if it's not promoted. Like, if you're writing blog posts, creating podcasts, and making YouTube videos, but you're not promoting it 5 times more than you're actually creating it, you're not doing anything. Like, you need to be posting on social media. You need to be running ads to your blog posts. You need to be telling people that your podcast just came out on your email list. Like, promotion. The reason that we batch content is so that we can promote it. If you batch 12 weeks of blog posts, you now have, in 1 week, you have 11 weeks to promote all that content as it comes out. Promoting is where the money is made, right? That's called marketing. So you need to be promoting your content just as much as your courses. The big mistake that most people make is they only promote their paid stuff. And that means you can't grow your audience. That means nobody finds out about you, so they can't find out about what you're selling. So you need to be promoting everything that you create.
But that being said, we like to have a paid offer to go to. So what I mean by that is, if you don't have anything available for sale and you're just constantly running traffic to your website, like, what's really the point? I mean, it's one thing to do a little bit of audience building, but we prefer for you to have a paid product so that there is an end goal in mind.
Yeah, the general flow is this: an ad to free content. The page where the free content is has an opt-in. They opt into your list for a free piece of a free product, and then you send them emails for your sale product, or follow up with more ads to that person. So, like, watch the sales funnel training. It'll show you the exact flow of all of this. And we also have another training inside the Flip Your Life community called the Sales Chain. That one's really important because it tells you how to measure your success in your sales funnel, right? Like, we look for weak links in the chain to improve it. So watch those 2 trainings. Take you about an hour, and all of this will make total sense, okay?
All right. This question is from Tanya. Tanya says, this question is about multiple membership tiers. I have 2 tiers, monthly and quarterly, but I'm thinking about adding a courses only tier. My membership is for women only, and this would allow men to purchase my courses.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. I mean, anything content only means passive. That's passive income. So if you have a really low, and I would say this, if you're going to add a content only tier, it must be strategic and lead to a higher tier of more access, or open up the door for more people like you're doing now. So like, let's say you add a content only tier and it's like $5 a month, and your goal is still to get them in your $29 a month plan with access, with community, with member calls, with whatever. But you're just trying to, it's almost like people sometimes call small products tripwires. It lets you know someone's willing to get their wallet out. I'm not sure necessarily if it's great for just opening up to everybody else, but I think a content only tier is fine because it's passive income, right? But retention is a very big struggle in content only tiers. Okay. That's why you have to have somewhere else for them to go. People get content, they watch the content for a while, they forget about it, they're not participating. Like if they don't log in, they don't watch it, right? That's why a lot of people add community elements to their content memberships, because content memberships have really low lifetime value usually. So not against it, you should test it, but understand that the retention is going to be a lot lower, because out of sight, out of mind, they're going to forget about it for 3 months, and then they're going to look at their credit card statement and be like, why am I paying for that? You're right. So it would be good to add something else to it if you could, but it's a great gateway drug into the rest of your products.
Yeah, just try it, see what happens. All right, let's go to a success story from Jennifer. Jennifer says, business win this week. I had one of my studio managers reach out to clients who haven't been in for a while. And one of those people came in this morning and bought a small package score.
Nice. Oh, so she followed up with old customers and clients, basically. That's amazing. We're doing, one strategy we've implemented along these lines is we're adding a quarterly reactivation campaign to keep anyone who's ever been a member of the Flip Your Life community and for some reason or another, life got in the way, whatever, and quit. We've made it a strategic plan quarterly to get people to come back, right? So we wrote a launch sequence, worked on it earlier in the year, automated it, got a bunch of new members, got a bunch of members back. Some of you may have joined back on that welcome back campaign, but we forget that everyone who used to be a member or has paid us before is not paying attention. We think they're all paying attention all the time, but they're not. You got to remind them. You got to say, hey, a lot's changed since the last time you were here. Hey, there's new offers and opportunities. Hey, I know life got in the way, but come on back. And you've got to keep following up with people. And your old customers, your buyers list, that's your best source of leads, guys. That's people who've already given you money before. So everybody needs a quarterly, what do you call it back? A quarterly welcome back sequence. Maybe it's just one email, just letting all your old customers know, hey, we're still here. We miss you. And we'd love to have you come back.
And you will notice that a lot of businesses do a very poor job at this. So people will get your email, but they'll never contact you again. I was just thinking about this the other day because, one of the things that we really enjoy doing is going to like all-inclusive resorts. And of course, they have all kinds of contact information on us. And I so rarely hear from them. And we go a couple times a year, maybe a few times a year. And why are these people not contacting me? I mean, worst case, they're going to unsubscribe from your list, but they're probably not going to buy anything anyway if they do that. So why do you care if they unsubscribe? So I don't know. I mean, I say definitely contact them.
Is in the follow-up. That is the truest statement ever in online business. That's why we're so adamant about contacting people who follow you every day of the year. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Even with people who've quit, they went away for a moment. It doesn't mean they've gone forever. You got to go back and get them. It's like the lost sheep in the Bible, right? The one goes, and you leave the 99 and you go find the one, right? Go back and get these people. Some of you may be at a plateau right now. You may be one email away from your buyers list who have canceled in the past from getting 10 new members today. You could send an email today or Monday morning that says, hey, we miss you. Like, how are things going? Come on back to the community. We got new things going on, new courses, new trainings, new whatever. and they may come back. So if you're stuck at a plateau right now, you need to be writing an email as soon as this call's over to your email to everyone who's ever paid you in the past and see if you can get some of those people to come back.
Yeah, Castle says, should I offer them a special to come back? Absolutely.
Sure,
Why would you
100%.
not?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even make sense
I'll tell you
not to.
what I'm finding works better in these welcome back campaigns. And this is, I met with some guys and we talked about this, and they had done some things in the past. Bonuses work better than price changes. So like, hey, if you come back now, I'm going to give you a free gift. You know, I want you to have a welcome back present, right? So that's actually working better than here's a discount. You know what I'm saying? Because if you offer they know it's in your community, they know the prices are good, they know all that stuff. You got to give them something extra to welcome them back. You know, like you're waiting, like close your eyes and imagine you're waiting at the door, holding a wrapped present with a bow on it, and when they come back, here, this is yours to keep no matter what. I'm just glad you're back. So like offering a gift or a bonus, if you changed your prices recently or something like that, you know, that's always we're finding that's better than just straight up, here's a 20% discount like they do on a sale at a department store or something like that. So,
and I think different things work for different businesses. Like, you know, if you're in the retail business, for instance, they do a lot of discounts. And I think that's for a purpose. You know, I will get an email from a clothing company that I bought something from saying, oh, well, here's a discount. You know, so different businesses work different ways. But for what we do, for what most of us do, which is some type of passive online membership or digital product, then I think what Shane is saying makes sense. You know, offer the bonus, tell people you want them to come back. Like, they have said it's okay if you contact me. They have not unsubscribed from your list. So why aren't you contacting them?
And you can do both. Like you can have, like, hey, join now, it's a bonus. The next quarter you can offer a discount. The next quarter you can do something else, right? Like you can keep trying different things, but the most important thing is that just send them an email and ask them to come back, because some percentage of them will always buy. Like if you have 100 people who have been in your world and they're not paying you anymore, I bet 5 or 10 of them would come back if you just ask them. So do that.
All right, this question is from Chris. Chris says, I'm keeping an eye on our failed transactions. Last month, we had 44 failed transactions out of 938 members. This month, we are at 1,072 members with 27 failed transactions. Is there a percentage of failed transactions you should aim for every month, or is there a service you use for failed transactions?
Okay, so this is a big problem with all retail, online, everything. Like credit card payments and debit card payments just fail. So there are a lot of things that you can do to stop this. I actually was at a mastermind one time, and there was this really young guy there. He was super smart, and he just was getting hammered by failed transactions like this because they had a payment plan to buy something. So it wasn't even like a membership. It was like, you know, a payment plan. So if they didn't pay the whole payment, they already had the product. You just lost all that money. So they really, really attacked this hard. So the first thing I would suggest, there's 3 or 4 things you can do about this. I don't know what you're using for your automation and your payment stuff, right? But in Infusionsoft, what we do first and foremost is we have emails that go out. We have 3 emails that go out whenever any transaction fails to let those people know. We also have a manual way that we can rerun the card. Like we can go in and click the button and rerun the card manually if the payment fails. Because credit cards can fail for 1,000 different reasons. A packet got lost in between the servers, right? It could be the date was wrong. It can be they put one letter wrong in their address when they typed it in. I mean, it can be anything. Or maybe they changed their address but didn't update your contact record. Like there's so many reasons why that can happen. It's not just people don't have money in their bank account, which is another reason that it could happen.
Yeah,
you know?
that definitely happens.
It does happen sometimes. But you can click a button and you can rerun the credit card manually. I would be willing to bet that your system can do that. We for a while there, we were even following up manually, like calling people and like saying, hey, it was really labor intensive. You'd have to have a good customer service staff to be able to do that. But call them and be like, hey, did your credit card fail? Did you change your credit card? We just want to make sure that you're, you know, still a member of the community. So again, the fortune is in the follow-up. You're gonna have to create a huge system for following up with these people to make sure that they're updating their cards, that you're talking to them, and you're doing things like that.
Okay, so let me just say a few things about payment processors. Okay. First of all, there are settings in payment processors. And what I mean by that is a lot of times you can go in and you can tell it, okay, only verify this credit card if they have the exact address, the exact zip code, the exact whatever. Okay. Sometimes you can relax those rules a little bit. And what I mean by that is, as long as the zip code matches the card, it will go ahead and charge it. Okay. Now, that can be problematic because of fraud and all those types of things. Like, they will tell you it's best if you match everything. But we relax those rules just a little bit because of those reasons. Okay. And it's not illegal or anything like that. I mean, the payment processors allow you to do it. It's just you have to go in and change the settings. So I would recommend, first of all, looking at your settings and see what you can do to like relax that slightly so it's not failing so many times. And really, out of those transactions, that's not a huge amount of declines, I guess.
44 out of 1,000 is not like
No, that's not terrible.
That's normal. What percentage is that? Like 2% or something like that? Like
I think like 4% or something like that.
44 divided, that's now it's not 4%.
So it's not terrible.
So that's like, yeah, it's like 0.4%. Oh, 4. It's 4%, right? So that's not.
It's not 4%.
Yeah,
oh yeah, it's 4%.
I'm not doing math on the air. We've talked about this. Okay, like you're the math person. All right.
No, I'm really not.
We're not really. Neither one of us are. So that's not huge. It could be lower. I don't know if I would say ours is probably between 2 and 4. I mean, it's just part of the deal. I mean, you're taking credit cards; they're going to fail. Like if someone joins in March and their credit card, it like expires in April, and then May comes around, it's gonna fail because they're not gonna remember to go update every single thing. It's your job to remind them, right, that they need to keep paying you. There's also a service. I've been looking. Hold on, I found it. It's called Gravy. So it's gravysolutions.io. A buddy of mine uses this for his membership. And what they will do, it's not the perfect solution for everybody, especially if you're really low ticket. But like what Gravy does is anytime you have a failed payment, anytime you have anything where somebody doesn't come through for a subscription or a membership, they will go and they have customer service that will contact and try to recover that. And then they just take a percentage of what they recover. So if you have like an annual payment that's like $500 and it fails, they'll call that person and be like, hey, you forgot to pay this. And then they get them back and then they'll take like 10%. So, you're going to keep 90% of that recovery every time. I don't know if they're commission only. I don't know exactly what they are. You have to like go talk to them, but it's gravysolutions.io. And a buddy of mine has recovered a massive amount of their retention, but he has like really high ticket, like $6,000 every 6 months. So he goes after that and it works for him too. So
another thing that I wanted to say is a lot of times in your if you have a CRM, that's a customer relationship management system, like Entreport, like ActiveCampaign, like Infusionsoft, all of those different types of things, a lot of times you can do a payment recovery sequence. And depending on what you use, that's probably an option in whatever you use to take payments. But it will try to recharge so many times. And like we can send out an email system or an email sequence as well. The only problem with that is sometimes people don't receive the emails. So you're sending out this payment sequence, but maybe the emails are going to spam, maybe they're going to promotions, whatever. So a lot of times people won't get it. So that's why it is beneficial if you can have someone to actually contact them, even if it's a customer service person. A lot of times what we do is if the person receives we have a 3 email sequence. So if you receive the third email or the third email in the sequence and you have not updated your credit card information, then our customer service team gets an email that says, hey, you need to email them from your personal email, because the personal email is going to be more likely to hit the inbox than one being sent from the system. So we do it that way.
It's a different server. So
yeah,
like
and
2 chances at it from happening.
And that's one way that you can sort of like preempt it and try to recover some of them if you don't want to go the next step of like paying for a service.
Like let's say like you said 27, I think last month. Like also be careful what you're doing with your time. Automate this, get the system in place, and don't spend too much time on this. You have 1,000 members that you have to take care of. Retain those people. There's 27 people, their payment failed. Why don't you just do a webinar or 2 and sell 50 more, right? Like just replace them. Like don't obsess with these credit card payments. Don't obsess with this other thing. If you're in the single digits in retention, which in churn, like which combines your failed payments with people who actually cancel, like you're good. Just focus on marketing, focus on promotion. Like if you lose 27 and you go do 2 webinars and you get 100 more, you win. So don't let this become a massive, it's like watching your unsubscribes on your email list. it can become a waste of time. It's a very small percentage of what's actually happened. 96% of your members paid you. Take care of them to make sure they pay next month. Recover as many of these as you can, and then go sell more. Go sell more. That's always the answer. Go sell more.
All right. We have a success story from Carrie. Carrie says, my new book and journal are out. I had 237 free downloads in 9 countries. Since I started prepping for the launch, my email subscribers have gone from 80 to 150 plus, and I have at least one new opportunity as a podcast guest.
Awesome.
Good
That's
job,
great.
Carrie.
Success begets success, and go sell something to those 50 to 100 new email subscribers immediately, so they can buy something from you.
All right. The next question is from Anna. Anna says, I don't have a specific question today. I've been in the community for about 2 years. I've bounced around with ideas, have really dug into 2 of them, and I got lots of behind the scenes work done. I get super excited, but I run into problems when it comes time to actually put myself out there. I suddenly get busy and I realize this is a quote dumb idea, and I completely sabotage myself. I know it's ridiculous, and I know the inability to take action is the most common barrier. I'm even embarrassed because I'm fully aware of what's happening, but I have a hard time overcoming it.
Yeah, I'll tell you the best technique to overcome this fear of putting yourself out there is to put yourself out there more. And that sounds like paradoxical, but it's not when you look into it. Like, our kids right now are starting YouTube channels of their own. We've had like one that we've helped them with for about a year or 2 now, called FL Kids, but they're getting more independent. They're starting to figure out the technology, like being able to film, being able to edit and do some stuff. And they both really wanted their own individual YouTube channels. So, you know, last week I set them up a business email. They got their own email addresses. They got their own YouTube channels. Last night I sat during the basketball game that we were watching on TV, and me and Isaac, fixed his channel art, fixed his profile picture, and he went and vlogged yesterday, and he filmed his first thing. And one reason we're really supporting them doing whatever they want, like, we're not trying to like coach them through it or make it the best YouTube channel ever or anything like that. It's just, we know that if they right now in their life at 10 and 8, will vlog every day or turn on YouTube live every day, they're going to be comfortable on stage. They're going to be comfortable in front of people. They're going to be comfortable putting themselves out there. Is it themselves or their selves? I always forget that.
Them.
It is themselves. Jocelyn gets mad at me when I say their selves.
He always messes that
Eastern
up.
Kentucky thing, you know what I mean? Their selves over there. But we're trying to get them comfortable putting themselves out there. If they do that every day, 5 years from now, when it really matters, they're going to make a difference. So I would really suggest that you start a Facebook page or you start a YouTube channel. And right now, when you don't have, and don't even try to pick one of them where you don't even really try to get followers, you just let it happen organically, and put the app on your phone and vlog every day. Like, put yourself on camera talking for 1 minute every morning, 30 seconds. Nobody's watching you. Like, go start a random YouTube channel and don't tell anybody about it. And just put yourself out there. And a few views will come in. You'll see a couple things, a comment, whatever. And you'll see that over time that it's not such a big deal. And those little reps at just putting yourself out there live will help you when you're ready to put yourself out there to sell something or launch something or lead a community or do it for real. Okay. So it's one thing. Jocelyn was really uncomfortable with video for the longest time. I wouldn't say that even now she's totally
I'm still uncomfortable with
Yes.
video.
But we actually had this talk a while back, and we were like, why don't we just do live videos all the time? Let's just turn them on and do it. Our YouTube channel had just started, and the podcast you can kind of hide because it's just your voice. But when we did the YouTube channel, you had to do it. But I feel like you're a lot more comfortable now. Like, you can do live videos pretty rapidly. And one of the things that Jocelyn did to get comfortable with this is every new member we got, she started sending Bonjoro videos to for like 6 months. So she got to film a little 20-second live video to one person. And it was just, the reps added up, the comfort got better. And it was just like, you were live so much and sending so many of these video messages, it didn't matter anymore,
Yeah, it just takes practice. It's not something that's going to be easy, especially at first. I think a lot of times our biggest fear is, okay, well, what if somebody says something, like whatever you're insecure about, and I think once you start kind of doing this and you understand that most people are going to be very nice, you are not going to get a lot of crazy haters. I mean, you might get somebody like on this YouTube stream that says, do you like pizza? I mean, that's probably going to be the worst thing that you get. So
Krista said, I love this tip. I am not comfortable with video over. It's like exposure therapy. Yes, if you're scared of spiders, you put a spider on the table and you watch it for a while, right?
And
Same
like,
with video.
don't think that you have to do a video forever. So if you're going to make a video, a lot of times I will get on and just do like a 4 or 5 minute video. I have a couple of points I want to make. I'll do it really quick and then I will shut it off. And I won't look at the comments. I won't look at anything else. I just get it done. I do it live because if you do it live, you can't edit, you can't stop, you can't go back. Like you just get it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jocelyn made another, if you caught that too, don't look at the comments, don't look at the chat, don't look at anything else while you're getting used to this stuff, because you'll let the haters creep in and make you unconfident. Like I don't know if we ever go back and really watch or listen to most of the stuff that we do. I'd say we probably spot check 1 in 10 podcasts that we listen back to when we're on the road, or I don't know if I've ever went back and watched one of our YouTube videos again. Like I'll check the comments because like the the comments don't really bother me as bad as they do Jocelyn, but like only to try to generate more leads, right? So don't look at the comments, don't watch the video over again. A lot of people say, oh, I listen to every podcast and I take notes to improve and this, that, or the other. You know what? We improve by practicing it and doing it over and over and over again until we're really, really good at it. We don't go back and relitigate the past. We're always looking forward to the next step. And if you do that, you will eventually be comfortable on video and audio and putting your products out there if you just do it every day. Okay. So.
All right. Let's jump into a success story. We had so many good success stories today.
Did you see that one from Brooke?
Yes.
That's a really good one.
Well, we've got like 4 before that. All right. So this one is from Jennifer. Jennifer says, I got the brick and mortar business special event scheduled out through May 18th, which is a huge deal for me when I'm normally only 3 weeks out.
Nice.
Good job. That is awesome. Isn't that an amazing feeling?
Yeah. Once you start getting ahead, like the world opens up to you and you can like, instead of living day to day, you see the timeline of what's going to happen. And eventually you can start willing the future to look like what you want it to. So good job.
Okay, this question is from Brad. Brad says, I'm working on auditing my website. SEO, which is search engine optimization, is one factor I want to ensure that my website is optimized in addition to SEO posting. Do you have any recommendations on tools or primary focus areas? I use the Yoast plugin, but I have no idea if there is a factor keeping me from ranking well.
The most important thing in SEO is research, not the actual on-page stuff. Because if you do really good research first, you will use the proper words in your copy and tags and keyword and all that stuff. So you need to be on the Google AdWords platform so that you have access to the Google AdWords keyword tool, which is the largest database of actual search data on the planet. You need to have vidIQ if you're doing anything on YouTube. YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. There's a great tool called vidIQ, vidIQ.com, that I use every day. I'm actually teaching my kids for homeschool next week. We're going to learn how to use vidIQ to do keyword research for their videos. And then other than that, it's just actually organically using keywords. Like the search engines and the algorithms are really good at sniffing out bull crap. Like if you're keyword stuffing just a keyword stuff, they're gonna figure it out. Most of our copy on our page is transcripts because it's just natural language, us using keywords in real time, right? Titles are important. Use your keywords in the alt tags on your pictures. Make sure you've got the keywords in. Make sure you're using categories correctly. And then again, don't just rely on organic. Put a little paid traffic behind your posts. If you're in the AdWords platform and you find a good keyword and you write a good blog post about it that seems really organically useful, go in and run $1 a day at it for the next 60 days and see if you can generate a little buzz, get some relevance, and it'll fill out. So SEO to me is all about research and nothing about tricking the algorithm, nothing about doing it correctly. It's, am I writing or speaking about something that other people are actively looking for? And am I doing it in a way that will serve that person and make it really, really relevant to their life? If you follow those rules and you do it prolifically and consistently, you will eventually start ranking for keywords. Okay. So don't worry about just pushing, forcing the algorithm to recognize you. Make really good stuff that solves people's problems and research it first, and your SEO will be fine. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Let me see here. All right. The next success story is from Castle. She says, my 7-day boot camp is finishing this week. I have 86 signups and great feedback so far and some possible leads for an upsell.
Nice. That's always good. Anytime you figure out your next product from something like that, it's a win because you always, the thank you page is the first page of your next sales funnel. All right. That's a philosophy that we kind of live by. People always need somewhere else to go. You know what I mean? So go make sure they always look for that next product, always look for that next offer. Anytime you can sell somebody something and then sell them something else on the thank you page, you're going to make more money.
All right. And this question is from Castle. She says, my site does not take credit card payments. I only use PayPal. For some people in some countries, PayPal is not an option. Would using direct deposit using a transfer be a reasonable arrangement, or can you think of other?
I'm not sure why you won't use credit cards because you can sign up for Stripe in seconds and use credit cards. I'm not sure what's holding you back from using something else besides credit cards. Sometimes, you know, the credit cards do take a percentage fee, but so does PayPal. Like you're going to lose a fee and you can write those off on your taxes anyway. So I'm not sure first why you're not taking credit cards independently from PayPal. So maybe you could give people those credit card options. And, you know, I know there are countries that have this problem. We have this problem. We take every credit card under the sun, PayPal, whatever. And sometimes
except American Express.
Except American Express. We don't take American Express. But when foreigners or somebody else in a kind of have credit cards, we don't have PayPal. You know, I hate this, but a lot of times I just tell them, sorry, then our service is not available in your country. You know, we just kind of narrow it down and say, you know, you can't solve everyone's problem for them. You would be much better off spending all of your energy advertising only in countries that can accept PayPal and stop wasting money promoting your stuff in places where they can't use PayPal. If that's all you're going to take is PayPal and you've made that decision, then go look up countries that that don't use PayPal and make sure you're excluding them from your marketing spend. So there's 300 million people in America. There's, you know, 40 million or 50 million people in Canada, I think. So like, there's no reason to advertise in places that can't pay you, or you give them a payment option. So.
And, you know, I have done the direct deposit thing, like a wire transfer, but I would only recommend doing that if it's like a pretty big ticket thing.
Yeah, I would have to.
I used to do it for the Librarian site. You know, if it was over like $500, then yes, I would take a wire transfer. But I don't really like the idea of giving my bank account information to people.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I just would not sell where there is a reason probably that PayPal is not there, either because of a high inference of fraud or they just don't have the technology to mess with it. So.
And you know what? We've made some kind of unusual exceptions. Like we had one person write to us. Was it from like Iraq or something?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. They were from Iran, I think. They were from Iran, and they were using VPN to get to our stuff because of sanctions and restrictions. But because of sanctions and restrictions, right? They could not pay us for some reason. So we found a way for them to pay us through basically like a third party joined for them, a friend outside of the country. So it was in Iraq. I can't remember what they were in Iran and they couldn't because of sanctions, but they were legit. Like I checked them out. I talked to them.
And I think we even like gifted him something.
Yeah,
because
we gifted them some access because we finally couldn't even get it to work out on a consistent basis. But you know, they were in Iran. It was no fault of their own. They couldn't join it. We checked them out. Everything seemed legit. There was no risk to us. And, you know, we wanted a member in Iran. It was awesome. I mean, like you got someone, you know, we're bridging the gap through business, right? So like it was just a really unique situation that we had to make something work there. And it did work out for a while. And we eventually, I think, just gifted it to them because it was too hard to jump through all the political hoops. So, you know, but do what you can, but you don't go out of your way. It's not your fault. It's not their fault. Just sometimes things don't work out. So, but I really would look into using Stripe. Like you can use Stripe to take credit cards, like right from their site with invoicing. So that might give you some options besides PayPal.
All right. This question is from Krista. Krista says, I just launched my first online course and I think I put way too much content into it. I'm happy with it, but my beta group feedback is that they underestimated the time commitment. I'm taking that to mean either it's too long or I need to charge more in the future because of how in depth I go with the exercises and videos. I'm thinking about breaking out some key content to use as a mini course or lead magnet, then rebranding this existing course and charging a bit more. Do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I would say this is a marketing problem, not a course problem. I don't know how much you've got in there, but it can't be much more than what we've got in ours. I mean, we've got like hundreds of hours of courses, tens of thousands of forum posts. Like we have a lot of content. We have a lot of stuff. I would guess that you're probably underselling the time commitment in your marketing, and you need to be a little more clear with people. Like, hey, look, there's a lot in here. It's amazing. You know, it's going to take you this long to do it. Like, you might need to be. It sounds like people bought and they weren't told exactly what was on the other side. I'm not saying you misled them. I'm just saying you might have not even thought to tell them that, hey, this is not some 1 hour and 45-minute course you're going to take and know how to do everything. This is a process that you're going to have to go through, and I'm going to guide you through the process. But don't worry, you won't get overwhelmed because I'll be there every step of the way, or my course lays it out in a step-by-step process. And, you know, so this sounds like more of a marketing deal. Like, one of the things we always say in our webinars is we quit our job in 12 months. It took us 12 months from the time we launched our first digital product to make enough money where we felt comfortable quitting our jobs, right? So anyone who sees our webinar knows that we're telling them up front, it took us 12 months, right? We're going to try to help you get there faster, but we're not going to tell you you're going to build one sales funnel and you're going to be a millionaire. We're not telling you that. So, like, we're clear about that. So when people get in and see the Flip Your Life blueprint, they don't freak out and get overwhelmed, right? So that's what I would say to do, is maybe clear up your marketing, maybe be a little more upfront about the cost and or about the time commitment, and then be more, and use that to your advantage. Be like, look at all these courses. How awesome is this? How step-by-step is this? You're going to be able to do this. Yeah, it's going to take a little time, but don't worry, you're not alone on the journey, right? And that'll probably solve that problem. Okay. They did not expect that much time when they got in there. You can fix that in your sales presentations.
Our puppies just came in.
Yeah,
to join us.
From Sam and Coco.
Okay. Let me see here. All right, let's go to a success story. This is from Tanya. Tanya says, I had a great live group call with my members. They told me that they were watching my training videos 2 and 3 times and crying the whole time.
Wow.
Because it's touching on something within them that they hadn't ever recognized.
Ooh, that's making a difference in the world, y'all. I mean, man, I'm telling you, like, this stuff ain't just about uploading and downloading videos. It's about changing people's lives. And you don't realize what would change people's lives, guys. Like, anything can change someone's life. Like, if you teach someone how to be a plumber and they can provide for their family, you've changed someone's life. If you can teach someone to be a contractor and they can go out and make some extra money to afford those vacations, you change people's life. Like, if you can help someone overcome sadness or depression, or help them get in shape, or teach them how to play guitar so they can zone out and shut their mind off for a little while. Like, whatever you do, it's not just selling a product. Like, it's changing people's lives, man. So, man, just throw your pebble in the pond, cause the ripple, make that happen. That's an amazing success story. That almost made me cry.
All right. This is a success story and question from Brooke. Brooke says, since the last member call, I have gained 10 new members.
See, that's why you come to member calls. That's why you're a premium member. That's why you come to member calls, because you always get those nuggets that unlodge the log jam and make things happen. I mean, 10 members since just in 2 weeks? That's incredible.
She says, I was also asked to come and show my resources to nursing students at a college in my city. Do you have any tips for that presentation?
Anytime you're doing anything live, make sure you're passing around a paper to give them emails. And
not just to get their email, but to say, hey, I have a cool free resource for you. If you'd like to get it, just put your email down here and I will be happy to email that to you.
Yeah, and make sure at the bottom you put the information that's like, I agree to be on the email list and receive periodic newsletters and all that. It's just at the bottom. So that way when they pass it around. You can also throw up a slide with a domain name and tell them they can opt in on their phone. But it really works good live. Like, even if you have a booth at a conference or you speak, pass around a paper, let people write their email address in, have the little thing that says, yes, I want to be added to the email list at the bottom. And then you just go home and do it for them. So you can find good leads and follow up with those leads individually, like maybe shoot them a quick video, be like, hey, thanks for coming to my talk. If you want to learn more about my products, click here, and then email them an actual personalized message the day after the event, and you will go to the next level really fast with people like that.
All right. This question is from Jennifer. Jennifer says, I'm struggling with staying on top of all the responsibilities. I'm not even talking about housekeeping and cooking, but balancing the demands of my brick and mortar and then trying to build the online business. And then this is probably why it is so acute at the present time. Keeping it organized enough for data analysis, and even worse, Uncle Sam and the tax man. It's really hard, and I know I'm doing too much, but I don't know how to remove some of the demands. My poor husband helps as much as he can, but he's not very active in the daily management of my brick and mortar business or online. So how do you guys divide and conquer so well?
Okay. We don't do it well all the time. I mean, we struggle. Yeah, we struggle with that stuff too. I mean, we're homeschooling, we're running a business.
I'm glad we make it seem easy.
Yeah, it
I
may
guess.
look easy, but you know, it's not easy. Like we succeed, but that doesn't make it easy, right? So first of all and foremost, I don't know why anybody would ever try to do their own bookkeeping. Like, if you want to know the first person that you should hire in your life, it's the bookkeeper. You need a bookkeeper and a tax person. You shouldn't be doing that. The only thing you should be doing is taking pictures of receipts. Like, that's it. And that should be farmed out. It's not super expensive. Find someone adequate enough to do it and let them take care of it. Let them balance your stuff. Let them do all that. Like, that is not any real business owner has a bookkeeper. You should have a bookkeeper, period. Okay. Now, the second thing I would do about data, Jocelyn might disagree with me this a little bit, but I think she might actually agree more than she thinks. Like, in your first year or two of business online, don't look at data. Stop obsessing over your opt-ins. Stop obsessing over your unsubscribes. Only focus your energy on the things that get unsubscribes or get email subscriptions, get members. Like, focus on content, focus on promotion, focus on being consistent and prolific, and just do the next thing. Don't sit there and analyze the data. I'll tell you really honestly, guys, the only data analysis that we really do right now on a daily basis is looking how much money's in our bank account. Like, I open up my bank account, make sure all the numbers look good, and I'm done for the day. Like, maybe once a month, or when we have a question about something, we'll pull up the data. Like, how many, like we did free trials there for about a year. We compared those to dollar trials. We did analyze those a little bit, but like, we don't get obsessed with data. We look at data when we need it, and that's the only time we look at it. We do not look at our data every day. Okay. The next thing I would say, if you have a brick and mortar business and you're doing an online business, you need to figure out more overlap. You need to do more documenting and not carving out new time. So if you're doing, if they're related topics, like your brick and mortar thing is what your online thing is about, yeah, you need to be setting up a camera and just talking through what you're really doing in your business at that moment, because that'll document it, and that's content. Like, document, don't create new things. Try to find some overlap. That way you don't have to, worry about it. Like, when I was making football playbooks, I was calling football plays on the weekends, right? Like, so there was overlap there, so I could kind of double up and get more bang for my buck out of my minutes. But one, go hire a bookkeeper. You don't have to ever do that again. Like, you can find somebody for $100 a month.
She says she has a bookkeeper and a tax person.
Well, I don't know what you're doing too much. Then you're too involved. You need to be doing nothing but taking. Do we do anything besides take pictures of receipts, really, and then meet with them quarterly?
Not really.
Not really. So you're doing too much. This might be a control issue. You're not letting some of that stuff go. Okay. And then the other thing I would say is you're not being as strategic as you could be to find the overlap between your business and your online business, so that you're kind of like, oh, well, I'm going to teach Jennifer does yoga, right? You're going to teach like a yoga lesson. Film it. There's your contact. Okay, you're already doing it. Get permission from some of your clients to film the classes, and then that's your YouTube video for the day. It doesn't have to be you in another hour filming a video. Like, do some things like that to kind of double things up and try to find some overlap. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is, it's hard, y'all. Changing your life's hard. If it was easy, everybody'd do it, but they don't. So if you want to flip your life, well, you got to learn how to flip, and you got to get moving, and you got to take action, and you'll do this forever. So you have to embrace the hardness. You have to honor the struggle. Like, it's not easy to be successful, and it's not going to get any easier when you quote unquote make it. So
I feel like there are probably a lot of you guys out there going, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I had to hire a bookkeeper. Okay, so just realize, first of all, that Jennifer's in a little bit different place. She's been doing this for a long time.
And
She has a successful brick and mortar business. Okay. So, when we say that, we don't mean if you're just starting out right now, you need to have a bookkeeper. Okay. We didn't have that for quite a while. Yeah. So that being said, I wanted to throw out there too that if you're feeling overwhelmed in an area of your life, or actually any area of your life, try to think a little bit outside the box. So, one of the things that I did when we were starting out, well, actually, a few years after that, but I was just overwhelmed by a lot of things, trying to be a mom, trying to work a full time business, trying to grow multiple businesses. We were involved in our church, we were involved in activities with our kids. I mean, we just had a lot of things going on. So I started thinking, okay, well, what is a relatively inexpensive way to get help without like hiring people for the business, because we weren't really ready to do that for a lot of different reasons. So one of the things that I did is get somebody to help me in my house. So I have someone who does all of the laundry, all of the dishes, all of the straightening, the grocery shopping, all of the little errands that take up so much time during the day, so that I could focus all of my mental energy on the business and taking care of my kids. Okay. So I'm just asking, is there something that you can do in that regard? Can you maybe find someone to do some of those things? Usually, depending on where you live, I mean, you can get someone fairly inexpensively to do those types of things, where it might be really expensive to hire someone to do things in your business.
Jennifer says data is more for brick and mortar versus online because I don't have capacity for online data analysis. Well, the data, that data quote works just like for brick and mortar, like it does online. Like I always look at it like this: I can study my data to get some insight. That's fine. Or I can actually go out and make an ad and promote something and sell it and get more customers. Because if I get enough customers online or off, every new customer I get makes me, I can have more margin for error in my data, right? Like maybe something gets high and I'm spending a little too much here, or spending a little, well, I got 10 new clients, so I don't care because I got so much more money coming in that it overwhelms that small bit of data analysis that I could have gotten, right? Like if you spend 2 hours on data a week, if you spent 2 hours on promotion, I bet you'd make a lot more money. Like I'm not saying data is not important. I'm not saying you shouldn't look at it, but it's the same rule. Like how much time are you really spending looking at all this data for your brick and mortar business and all this other stuff when you should be promoting? And even ad spend, like when I start an ad, if I run it for 2 weeks, I don't look at the data until it's over, and I only look at it for like 10 minutes. So like if data, you keep saying data analysis, I don't know exactly what you're talking about here. But I would spend less time on stuff that doesn't move the needle. That's probably the best way that I can say that. Like if you wrote down on a Post-it note every single task that you did for 2 weeks, I want you to do this. Actually, everybody do this. Write down every task in your business that you do for 2 weeks. Try to remember them, but literally as you're doing things for the next 2 weeks, put a Post-it note on a wall. Everything that makes you money, write a $ on the Post-it note with the task. So you do that for 2 weeks. I mean, I'm talking about literally makes you money, period. Like someone gives you money because you did that task. And no, don't give me the, well, every task is important and adds up. No, it doesn't. Some things make you money and some things don't. Do that for 2 weeks. You'll have 100 Post-it notes, and then take down everything without a $ on it. And you will realize what is not actually important in your business and what is. Okay. Go through every single task. I'm talking everyone, put them up there, right? Me and Jocelyn do this about probably every other year just to see what's going on. Write a $ on the things do this. Write a $ on the things that get you new customers, and write a smiley face on things that make your current customers keep paying you. And then at the end of 2 weeks, take down every Post-it note that does not have a $ or a smiley face. You will be shocked at how few things you do actually move the needle. Okay.
All right. Next success story is from Della and Mac, who I know Della in real life.
Oh, Della?
Yeah, that's
Hi,
Della.
Della.
They joined on our last live training, I believe. So welcome. We're excited to have you guys. She said that we purchased our domain name, ready to start building our website. Yes.
The domain name. Just don't get addicted to that.
So good.
When you buy one, like it's like you buy 100. So be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? Like go with that domain name. Don't try to buy more. Like every idea doesn't need a domain name. Then you end up like me with 87 domain names that you've never used. So
all right.
Krista says the blueprint really saved me in Flip Your Life. It is a ton of info inside the membership, but I like that it's just in time what you need when you need it. That was the goal, Krista. I'm glad that's
by design.
Makes me feel good. Thanks.
Okay, next question is from Oleg. He says, when would you use multiple email lists on a single website where there are signups and opt-ins where people can join for different reasons? Some want to directly join, some want to grab a freebie, some want to check a course you're selling. How do you split them up on an autoresponder? I know about tags, segmenting, and grouping, but when new contacts sign up from those sources and they are coming to the email list as twins. So I think what he's trying to say is they're on multiple lists.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'll tell you how we do it, Oleg. This isn't the perfect way to do it, but what we do is the first thing they get delivers what they wanted, and then they go onto our big list. Like, we kind of stopped segmenting so much because what we do is we send general emails out, and like when people click links, we tag them and it kind of raises their hand. So you can write different autoresponders. I would, like, if you have a specific opt-in and they get this opt-in, you could write 3 emails, they all get that, and then you just put them on your broadcast list. We don't do that because I don't want to go that deep into it. Like, all of our stuff is related enough that the next thing I talk about is probably going to interest them too. I do just want them to redirect to a thank you page that delivers the free thing that I offered them, but we don't put them on different lists. We do tag people, so we've got a lot of like information and data about people. Like, if I wanted to pull up every person that's ever clicked a live event link that we've ever sent out, we've tagged all of our links that they click. So I'll know who's really raising their hand that they want more information about a live event. So maybe I'll only send those people an email sometimes one day, or only send another segment of my list. But when we have, like, for example, the biggest thing that we do like this is when we go on other people's podcasts. So Jocelyn and I have done dozens and dozens of interviews with other people. Like, we've been on, Smart Passive Income, Entrepreneur on Fire, Social Media Marketing World with, or whatever it's called, with Michael Stelzner. Like, we do all these different podcasts, like dozens of. Jocelyn just did one 2 days ago. So every time we go on a different podcast, we make a new page on our website. We put a picture of the host by a picture of us, and we say, thank you, Smart Passive Income listeners. We have a free gift for you. And they opt in. So they'll be redirected to the freebie, but they go on our general list. Like, we don't write a different autoresponder for every podcast we go on, right? That would be impossible to really do. You can have a few, but like, try to make them like categorical, and don't try to do a different email list for every opt-in. The goal is to deliver the freebie and then get them talking to you, which is why we email every day, right? So I wouldn't go too deep down that rabbit hole. You can create multiple lead magnets, but I would not create too many lists. It can become very unwieldy very fast.
Yeah, the way that I dealt with this on Elementary Librarian is I just had one autoresponder, and basically, like, everything that I would advertise, I would make what I called like a resource guide. So the very first email was like, here is your resource guide, download the PDF. And it had links to like all the different things that I had to offer. So it was basically like over delivering. So not only did I give you what you originally opted in for, but I gave you like dozens of other things too. So that would be one way to deal with it. I would contact your list. So I don't know who you're using for your email service provider, but I would contact them. A lot of times their customer service is really good. Tell them about the problem you're having and see if they have any suggestions to keep it a little bit cleaner. So I would kind of go to it that way. All right. And this is our final question for the day. And it is from Matt. Matt says, we are going to be selling mostly to photographers for our online business. I've been having some trouble getting WordPress to look as professional and sharp as I'd like. I know some of this is the artist in me, but I'm also trying to consider my avatar and how visually picky and astute they are. Oh, Matt, that's a big word for Saturday morning. I'm debating using a third-party site like Thinkific to have a clean, sharp, well-designed site to host my courses. I know that you preach the ownership WordPress, to which I think I eventually want to switch to, but I'm wondering if you see any issues with a third-party site or transferring everything over when the time comes.
It'll be a hassle. I mean, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Like, it will be hard, it will be expensive, and you'll have to do it eventually to grow. Maybe not. You might be able to just use Thinkific or whatever. But I actually have a different philosophy for art people, because I've seen a lot of art-based websites come through the community. The one I always reference is Evan Burst at the Cartoon Block, because he's an artist. Like, he's literally an artist. Like, that's what they do. And we've got a couple other photography-based websites that have been through the community as well. And it seems like those sites convert better when they're not fancy and they're minimalist. So like Evan's website, if you go check it out, is really just a smooth, clear background, and he lets the art itself pop, right? It's kind of like hanging in a beautiful picture on a white wall. Like the picture is there. The picture is what matters. The photography is what matters. The cleanness of it is what matters. Like that's what they're really judging you and looking like. Now, design matters more for sure in that kind of space, right? But the minimalist websites and businesses I've seen come through the community seem to convert better because they let the pictures do the talking. They let the art do the talking, and they don't get too caught up in what's happening like around all of the art.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to be on your side just a little bit on this because design is important to me. I think in your space, it is very important, more so than in other spaces. So what I would suggest to you is to find someone to do a design for you. So a lot of times when people are starting out on their website, you know, they do their own thing, like they do their own design, and that's totally okay. For you, I am going to recommend probably hiring someone to set it up for you. So usually what that entails is going to find other sites that you like that are WordPress based. And the way that you can do that is, for instance, if you wanted to use the Genesis platform, I might go and look for Genesis sites for photographers and see if someone has done like a roundup of really good sites that they like. Find one of those on there that you like, or maybe a couple, and say, you know, I like these things off this one, I like these things off this, and get someone to code it for you. It's really not as expensive as you may think. You can find people to do this overseas for very inexpensive, and I would recommend maybe trying to do that. I don't know for sure if you met Jeanette Stein at our live event last year, but she knows someone that she uses, I think, on Upwork that does a really good job. You might reach out to her and just ask her who that is and if they want additional work. So there are lots of options out there, and I would recommend just not spending your time trying to learn all that.
Yeah,
it's not really worth it.
And your threshold, I'll tell you this too, like your threshold should be higher because you are in an art space. It has to look great. It really does. Like we have a lot more leeway on what our website can look like than you do because we're not in an art space, right? But I will say this. 9 times out of 10, this is an excuse not to move forward. You cannot nitpick someone you hire. You need to hire them and not look at it and let them make the website. You cannot nitpick your own design over and over and over again. This almost always is an excuse. Oh, it doesn't look perfect. It's not the way I want it. I'm an artist. I care so much about what it looks like. Like design matters, but it's not going to make you sell or it's not going to make you sell anything more, right? It's just not going to do it. Like it matters, but it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Like it matters more for you because you're in an art space than it does for someone who's selling, you know, how to make potted plants or whatever. I don't know.
But don't let it be a stumbling block.
This is a stumbling block. Yeah, it's gonna be. You're gonna sit around and nitpick it, and no one knows what your perfect is, and you don't know what your customer's perfect is. You don't know that they really care more. You think they do, and they may more than others, but they may not. So
I say outsource it and move on.
Outsource it and move on. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right, guys. Great member call today. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. A lot of amazing questions from our premium members. Just an awesome member call. A lot of great questions. Also, don't forget, Flip Your Life Live tickets are on sale now. We do have payment plans available. We want every one of you to be there for Flip Your Life Live. We do live Q&As after every single session at Flip Your Life Live, just like this, so you can get help in real time. And then we have a joint mastermind session after the Q&As where you take action on what you learn. On April 1st, I will be starting a 8-week rotation, and I will be hand walking Flip Your Life Live attendees through the Flip Your Life Live blueprint. That will only be available privately to Flip Your Life Live attendees. So you want to make sure you do not miss that. Want y'all to have a great weekend. Have fun watching the NCAA selection committee choose all of their basketball participants tomorrow. We're going to go watch Kentucky play Tennessee right now and try to get our hot water tank fixed so that we can take a shower because it's broken. So whatever you do, guys, take action. Till next time, Flip Your Life.
Bye.